recent, slump, I guess you could call it, or at least coming down from his highest level of play. Maybe he's lost a little bit of the confidence that he used to have, but I hope he regains it. He's up against a very, very strong Protoss player over here, very defensive Protoss player, creator.
Yeah. This is a situation that, like you said, DRG has been in so many times in the past. He was called the final boss. That was his original nickname because he always came out last for MVP, and he always cleaned things up and was able to take the win for them when MVP were GSTL champions. Then at some point later on in his career, something changed. He had a lot of pressure on him to continue to be the final boss, came out last, and he just kept losing over and over and over again. Most notably, losing in the semifinals before the GSTL finals that took place in Busan. It's very emotional. He also lost his semifinals match just right before that in the same week to go to the Codes finals that would have taken place in Busan, his hometown. And it feels like since then, when he comes out last, he just chokes a lot of the time. And I'm hoping that today is not going to be one of those days so we can see his full potential here against Creator.
I really hope so as well. It really, as a player of such a high level of anything, any sport, any esport, when you get into a certain situation, a lot of times it just gets into your head sometimes, and you can't overcome that feeling of like, okay, here I am again. Am I going to mess up again? And just having that lingering in the back of your mind and just keeping you from playing the game that you know you can play, which then bothers you even more, especially when you make mistakes in the early game. Then stuff just gets out of control in your head, and it's hard to deal with.
No, it's very, very well said. You and I have played sports. I've run. I've done fencing. You played hockey, and I've definitely gone through points when I was struggling against a certain style of fencing. That it would get into my head, and I would get stressed out about it. I switched between running short distance and long distance in track, so that was like sometimes give me a little bit of problems when I was switching between the two. Oh my god. I just hear this level of giggling that I've never heard before.
Wow. Okay.
But anyways, going back to the point.
Back to what we were saying.
There was a time period when I was playing, probably at my peak at skill level in StarCraft 2, when that push that people were calling the 1-1-1 build, the tank, Raven, all in and TVP. Whenever I hit that, I would just like lose my mind. I'm like, I know how to stop this, but I just cannot do it, and I just lose more and more games. And every time I saw the gas, I was like, I bet he's doing it. Here we go. And I would just lose every game. I just could not beat it. I could beat any Terran player who was CC'd first. I could beat any Terran player who did a standard 2 barracks at the time expand. Well, that tank push would just get me every time, and it got into my head. And that kind of thing just happens to even players who play like in Silver League. If there's something that gets in your head and messes with you, you're just not going to perform.
Yeah, I had similar woes with that 1-1-1 build. God, that was terrible. But I see what you're saying. It's definitely true. Creator praying.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's actually
suddenly
praying,
found religious, religion, but
he prays to the devil god.
Creator's definitely
because he's evil.
Creator's definitely a dome fossil guy. He's definitely a domer. He would definitely type democracy in the Twitch Plays Pokemon chat. Well,
some people just can't be friends.
We tolerate all religions here at Pro League.
Just not domers.
Especially people who are religiously in love with StarCraft.
That's my favorite type of religion.
And also not domers, but the map is up. It's ready. It's loaded. It's Polar Night, our final map of the night. One of these two players is going to take the victory for not only themselves, but their team. It's Creator and DRG's. Both of them have played. It's their second time. They're both playing a completely different matchup, not playing the mirrors that they showed us earlier. We'll be playing a Protoss versus Zerg. Zerg versus Protoss, respectively. And it looks like we're going to the map right now. Who's going to take it? Will it be MVP or Prime? Let's find out.
Down here to start our ace match, the red Zerg out of MVP. He's back again. It's DongRaeGu.
Yep. And his opponent to the top of the map. In blue, representing Prime, it's Creator. Been around for a really long time. Was one of the youngest, most successful Protoss players in Wings of Liberty. Definitely having a bit of a tougher time adjusting to Heart of the Swarm. And we'll see how he does here in round 2. This is a second round 2 match. He played some really good games in, in the first round. He was definitely the most solid Protoss player, I would say, on Prime. He was a gold Protoss, and let's see how he does in round 2. If he can defeat DRG, would be a pretty big win for him. You know, I think a lot of people would say DRG is favored here, and I would too, except that it's the ace match, and I feel like that gives DRG like this just small point of weakness.
Yeah, I really want to see DRG play a good game. I don't want to see it get to him because, you know, I followed him from when he started to get famous as well as you did, I know. You always say that story about how you were watching him, you know, before, even in the qualifiers and stuff.
Yeah. When
it was so hard to get into Code A and stuff. But I just want to see him return to his former glory. He was one of my favorite players back in the day. And he still is.
Yeah. And this is another one of our Korean commentators.
We're spreading the love here. We're not just picking on one guy.
This is really bad for Creator. He has his Nexus denied, and his opponent has a hatchery first he's getting away with. He's even adding additional drones.
This is
and he doesn't
so
have a forge.
Annoying. The micro right now is so good.
Like, look at the minerals what he had left over when he put that. He actually could have started a gateway first and got the Nexus up and would have been in a better place. That sucks. That's really bad.
Yeah. Goes for the forts, though, right after.
Yep. DRG's spool has already started. Got an extra drone out. And we're going to do it one more time, basically. Yep. That's what that says.
So those pictures already up there. Creator very, very excited after that win he had earlier on.
Yeah, you could see in those pictures that were up on those, those slides there. He's doing a little fist punch, a little bit of a celebration. Creator's celebration seems like so innocent, like it's like pure happiness, where instead of like trying to humiliate his opponents every time he celebrates, and that's what I really like about it.
Yeah, it shows that he cares so much about this game. He definitely wants to win, just like all these other players. Of course, if something gets to you so much and you get really emotional while you're playing the game, of course it gets to you a lot. DRG is another one of these players.
Yeah. DRG takes a quick third here, and it's really good for him because the gateway is so late, something he's been able to identify.
Yeah.
He denied a Nexus for so long that he couldn't add a gateway because that would have been too unreasonable.
Yeah. This is just something, DRG responding to the information that he's given. Wants to get the third base because he knows the pressure is going to be a little bit later, and that'll give him a better chance to hold it off, so he has a better chance of winning if he goes for this build.
It's definitely a safe hatchery because the core is so late, the gateway pressure is so late, the Stargate is late, everything is late. The Nexus was late as well.
Late.
For a very important date.
Yeah. You don't want to be late for a date. Definitely not the first date.
No, that's the worst, man. I'm always on time, by the way, not even just for dates. I'm like always there 5 minutes early. I think out of anybody I know or anybody I don't know that I meet for the first time, like, I'm always the one who waits. I never, ever, ever show up to meet somebody one-on-one at a meeting place where I'm the second person to be there. I cannot remember the last time this has happened. I am punctual.
You're punctual. You're definitely a lot more punctual than I am, to be honest. But it's not 100%.
I'm not 100%.
I have been waiting for you, like, maybe 5%. 5%. I'll give myself 5.
Yeah. I guess when it comes
10.
to you, sometimes things are different because, like, you and I are so close. I feel like if you have to wait for me for 2 minutes, I don't feel as bad about it. Sorry.
I see how it is.
Like, do we need to, like, restate our vows? You're like, Wolf, wow, you just pretty much told everybody on television that you don't really like me that much. Like, you don't care if I have to wait.
I see how it is.
Well, this is going to be an Immortal push, it looks like, Brendan. We've seen this just recently in the Race Wars match from Creator.
All the Race Wars matches where the Protosses went, in the PvZ matches where they went for a ton of Immortal pushes.
We saw only one that was not, and it was a Cannon Rush.
Yeah. We weren't sure if it was a joke or if they were actually just doing it because it was strong. But regardless, It is very strong.
It is very strong.
Creator's going to do it. I think it's a good idea after what happened to him with the block.
Makes sense, and it has not been scouted. There is an Overlord in position to come down and peek, but he hasn't seen it yet. He's droning up pretty heavily, and it's a huge commitment here, all the way into the 6 gates here. And this is a lot to put on the line. This is not the type of Creator that you normally see. This is a build that you see from a player like Parting, a player like Classic maybe, maybe not even really Classic. Just a player who's more aggressive oriented, which is not Creator. Creator is more defensive. Okay, so he's already seen this.
Well, he's seen the Robo. He's seen it building. He has to have a decent idea. He's getting a lot of units right now.
He's up to 60 drones. Fakes a third base here. And will now move across the map.
Starting a War Prism right after that third Immortal gets finished.
I really like that he gets the +1 so late, because by the time he gets to the base, it should finish. And that gives him just the faster gas for everything else he would have rather liked to have faster, like building up just 1 sentry a little bit faster, to have more energy, to have more force fields when he gets there.
Yeah, very good point. Continuing to come over to this third base, wants to fake it for as long as possible.
DRG is even adding a Infestation Pit and a Spire right now. That's a lot of tech to be adding right now when this push is coming his way. I almost feel like he's not sure if Creator's just going to commit or not. I mean, look how many drones he's added, Brendan. He's up to 73 drones right now.
Yeah, he's added a lot of drones after the fact, you know, right? But after he got to 60, he's added even more drones. I'm not sure if he knew this was coming. Very good hide.
He has no larva. I mean, now he has 5. He had 2 at the time I said that. He needs to spend it right away. He needs to get more units out. With all these drones, he's got a great economy, but he needs more time, and it doesn't look like Creator really wants to give it to him. Mothership core gets very low somehow. He's only going to have 1 time warp here, and he needs to use it well. Here we go. He's going to try to siege up that ramp. Force fields go down, blocking all the units out of the natural. Zerling's coming from behind. There's just way too much DPS here.
There's just way too much on the map right now for Creator. A huge push to the warp in. A lot of Zealots coming in as well. Really great force fields as well. The drones trying to fight. Losing a bunch of drones as well.
The Roach Warren is exposed here. Some reinforcing Zealots do get cut off. Looks like he's going to lose that Evolution Chamber. The Roach Warren's still exposed. He does not go for it. And really great micro here by DRG. Creator looking a little bit emotional, looking a little bit spastic there in the booth for a second, but his micro is spot on. More Stalkers being warped in. The Warp Prism survives. Now he's targeting down the last of these Roaches. DRG does not look happy.
DRG is not happy right now. Great control out of Creator right here. Really good force fields and just the really good fighting right now. Roach is coming from behind, trying to fight this off, trying to do whatever they can in terms of micro, but it just seems like there's just too much here. The Immortal's at full health, full shields.
He's just camped out this one base, so that all of the production that comes out here is just totally eliminated as soon as it spawns. He's still got that Warp Prism. He's going to even eliminate an Overlord here, it looks like. The Roach Warren he did not kill, as far as I can tell. Did it finally go down? Yeah, it looks like it did finally go down, but he let it be alive for so long. That's one more Queen down. That's less larva. Drones off the line here. He needs force fields. Beautiful force field on that extractor.
Huge force fields, and Roach is trying to come from behind. The drone's just sitting here, not even fighting. There's just not enough here for DRG. The look on his face is one of defeat. Creator's done it. Another Immortal push wins.
It does indeed. A GG. Creator takes both matches today, and Prime, a team with so few wins this season, will take their very first round 2 match, 2-3 against MVP, with Marine King and Creator taking the wins, showing their old form. The 2 top players from the old days coming back.
They're back. Creator looking really good today. That Immortal push, man, is just so strong, especially if it's not scouted.
Yeah, DRG misread that.
Just way too many drones. A really nice fake out of Creator there. He went so many times over to that third.
DRG went for a Spire and an Infestation Pit and extra drones. He must not have realized what was coming his way.
Yeah.
He then added a Hydralisk Den, which he had to do. He lost his Roach Warren. He kept it. Somehow Creator let him have that alive for much longer than he should.